Okay. Once you have submitted this assignment, assignment number 2, you will see on Blackboard assignment number 3 as well. Okay, and the due date and everything is written. Okay, we'll go through it in the next lecture as well. I'll go through the guidelines, what you have to do. But it may have already started appearing. Okay, you can read the guidelines yourself. So in the third assignment, we have to select a topic and prepare a report about it. Okay, so here I just want to give you a summary of or about these topics. Okay, you can select one, you have to select only one of them, but just to make sure that everybody is on the same level, I will go through the brief overview of these topics. Okay, now all those topics which you will see there, they are related to the modern challenges which are faced by the civil engineering profession. Okay, all the fields in the world are changing. Okay, and you will graduate maybe after 2 years, 3 years. Okay, so the change is already underway. And once you are at that point, it will be further changed. Okay, so it's very important that at least you have some idea about what are the modern issues, okay, the recent issues in your field. Okay, if you are going with the same knowledge which people had 10 years before you, then you will be obsolete. Nobody will want you. Okay, now why do we have, or what are some of these challenges? We have listed down 5 here, but you can check on other websites, on other sources, maybe you find more things. Okay, but we will just discuss these 5 here. Okay, the first thing is integration of technology. Okay, now people don't like to do manual work. Okay, all those things which were done manually, you mentioned some softwares, right? Okay, 3 softwares, 1 project, and these are just the softwares, and then they are using technology in the field as well. Even the construction work has more modern equipments now. Okay, so there is a significant transformation for these technologies. One of the things you already mentioned is mentioned there as well, which is BIM, Building Information Modeling. Okay, so it's a whole system which is designed for construction and design. This system, Building Information Modeling, is an integration of design work and construction process. You combine them together. Okay, this is called as BIM, Building Information Modeling. Okay, so as you already mentioned, now it's in use. Okay, and now we have drones. They are illegal here, by the way. Don't purchase them. Okay. You cannot use them. Yeah, you can buy them. You cannot use them. Okay, but drones are being used. Okay, the government can use it for their projects. In other countries, they are already using it. Okay, they use it for, in these pipeline projects, they use it. It's very dangerous to send people every now and then, to inspect the pipelines and do repair and maintenance work there. So they use drones there. Okay, virtual reality. You like gaming, right? Not the football, the gaming which you do on the screen, right? So all that is part of virtual reality. Okay, that you are in the game means what? You are doing something which you are not really doing, right? Okay, so it's virtual reality and it's being used now for construction work, for software design, for design. Okay, design of buildings is used. Okay, there's a lab, virtual reality lab in UOB as well, in building 45. I have a group of students who are designing a station using virtual reality. Okay, they were working there till last week. Okay, so most of these tools, some of them mentioned, some of that not mentioned, but the technology is used for improving the design process, Okay, so 2 or 3 firms are working together on the design. Okay, so how they can coordinate with each other, how they can share drawings and maps and plans. Okay, so for this, okay, improving project efficiency, like I already mentioned, now you have equipments which are doing the job for you. Okay, you have tools and equipments which will do the job for you. You don't have to have 100 people on the site to have more work. Okay, one equipment can do the same amount of work. And enhanced collaboration among stakeholders, so communication is now done virtually. You no longer have meetings, right? You no longer have meetings. Okay, whatever you call, now people are using shared spaces, right? You guys may be using that for your projects, like Google Documents and Teams and so on. Okay, so all these are for collaboration. Another thing is the focus on sustainability. Okay, environmental protection, reducing the impacts of reducing the impact of your project on the environment. Okay, so this is now becoming very focused on all types of projects. Okay, so now as we as engineers, we have to look for new things now to incorporate the concept of sustainability. What new things? For example, how can I use renewable energy in my projects? Instead of taking the, or generating the energy or taking the energy from EVA, can we have a renewable energy source right in the building, like a solar panel or a wind turbine or something like this? Okay, they have a project with a wind turbine, right? It's in Manama. There are 2 towers, between them you see the wind turbine. Where is it? What's the name of the building? Financial Tower, something like this. Anyways, but you may have seen the wind turbine there. Okay, so renewable energy sources, resilient infrastructure to withstand climate change. Here, what are the climatic problems for the structures here in Bahrain? What type of climatic problems our structures face in Bahrain? Type of soil, okay. What else? But soil is not part of climate. Sun, heat, right? And what else? Bahrain is what? Humidity, moisture, okay, because it's an island. Okay, so there are many surfaces which are exposed to the sea. Okay, and when you are exposed to the sea, then you have the problem of saline water as well. Okay, or humidity, moisture. Okay, so how can we make the structures which are more resilient to these things? Okay, the structure which you are designing here will not work in Canada, for example. They have their own problems, right? The structure which they are building there will not work here. Okay, so these things. Implementing green building practices to minimize environmental footprint. Environmental footprint, again, as I said already, the negative effects of your project on the environment. It can be emission, it can be noise, it can be dust, anything. Water pollution, soil pollution. Okay, all these things should be minimized. So when you are designing a building or constructing a building, you are not looking for walls and columns. Okay, I will just build walls, columns, beams and slab. Building is there and it's fun. It's fine. My job is done. No. How did you build it? Will it consume less energy or more energy? How long it will last in this climate, and so on and so forth. You have to look for now more things because of the sustainability aspect. So you can see now it's a big issue, right? I have to look for something new which may not be in the market. Data-driven decision making. Okay, so earlier if I told you go and look for a previous project, okay, like you are working in a company, go look for a previous project, you will go in the project library or something like this. They will give you some files and you will start looking at the files. Okay, but now everything is online. Companies have their own databases which are online. So you just run a query. For example, your company is doing thousands of projects. I just want to look for building projects, residential building projects. You can just run a query and it will show you the entire database. Okay, so what you will do for your next project will depend upon what you have already done because the data is accessible. When the data was in files, you could have said, okay, I don't have that much time, I have to give my design next week. But now you cannot say this. Okay, it will only take like half an hour to do this. Okay, so now people are taking decisions on the basis of previous data because it is accessible and you can analyze it instantly. Okay, an Excel file is enough for you to analyze the data of 1,000 projects. Okay, so you can improve your decisions about the new projects. You can predict when the project will need maintenance, when the project will finish its design life. Okay, and you can improve the performance of the project as well. And doing this, you can reduce the cost of the project in the long term, because from the previous projects you can learn what caused the following problems. You already mentioned a couple of problems, right, for your project. So it went from 300,000 to 7. You can see it's more than 100% increase. So when they start a new project, they will look at this data. Okay, so they can know better about the projects. Okay, resilience and adaptation. I mentioned it with respect to the climate. Okay. Okay, so you know, because of the climatic changes, now we have the climatic events are happening more often. Okay, for example, you may have heard about the earthquake last year in Turkey, right? It was last year actually. Okay, so these earthquakes, wherever they are happening, alhamdulillah we are safe for now, but wherever they are happening, if you look at their data, they will show you that their frequency and severity has increased. In Pakistan we have floods problem. Okay, so earlier, maybe 50 years ago, those floods problem were maybe once every 5 years, but now they are once every year. Okay, you may have heard about the storms and you know the cyclones which happen in USA in different parts. Again, their frequencies have increased because of the climate change. The climatic events, earthquakes, cyclones, tsunamis, they are happening more commonly now, and the severity is also increased. So now you have to prepare a infrastructure, or because you are not only dealing with the building, you are dealing with the entire country, right? So your electricity lines and your buildings and hospitals and schools and universities, all these things should be able to withstand these climatic events. Okay, so now we try to build structures which are more or which are stronger against these climatic events, which can bear more earthquakes, which can withstand more water seepage and so on. Okay, emphasis on urbanization and mega projects. Urbanization means what? Any idea? What is an urban area? Huh? Say loudly. City. Okay. What's the difference between a city and a village? A city or rural area? The other term is rural area. Okay. What's the difference between a city and a village? Tell me. Number of people. Okay. The main difference is the population. Okay. City or urban areas have more population. Urbanization means shifting of people to cities. Okay, people are shifting towards cities because of better job opportunities, better lifestyle, better utilities. Okay, in some countries, I think Bahrain is in good, alhamdulillah, the difference is not too much. Okay, but some of the other countries, for example, if you go to Pakistan, you are coming from a city, you enter a village or rural area, you can feel the difference right on the highway. Like I don't have to even go into a house, inside a house. From outside and from the condition of the highway, I know I'm outside a city and inside a village. So there's a big difference. So this big difference creates or makes people go from their area to the cities because they feel we have more opportunities there, and better facilities. This process of shifting is known as urbanization. Okay? Now this should not happen from the government perspective, from the administrative perspective. This should not happen. Why? Because when more people come at a place, then it becomes difficult to manage them. Okay? Somebody messaged me about the traffic jam. Was one of you? There's a traffic jam on the road. We are stuck for 40-50 minutes. I don't know. Anyway, so why does traffic jam happen? Not now, but you have seen traffic jam, right? Yeah. So why does a traffic jam happen? More cars at the same time. Simple. If these cars were coming at different times, problem solved. Okay? Or let's say 5,000 cars at the same time. If these 5,000 cars are divided in 3-4 hours, you will not have traffic jam. Right? So this is the problem which we face when urbanization happens. More people in a small area. Okay? More people in a small area. Okay? So managing small projects or managing a small amount of people is easier. Okay? But I think I mentioned this course. Maybe when they started, they used to have 30-40 people in the class. So to take their presentations of 30-40 people and to explain them and group them, it may have taken them 3 hours. It's fine. Okay? But now with 7, 8, 10 people, it doesn't take that much time, right? So it becomes easier. Yeah. So because of urbanization, we have lost this advantage. If people are now concentrating on a small area. Okay? So the problem is now is the projects are according to the size of the area or the number of people who will use it. Okay? So if you are building a house, maybe 5-6 people will use it. If you are building a residential building with 20 flats or 20 apartments, then 200 people will use it. If you are building a what's that tower in Dubai? Burj Khalifa. How many stories it has? How many? 160, right? And you can then imagine the number of apartments. And then you can imagine how many people are there. Got it? Okay. So this is like a mega project. Why we need mega project? Because you know Dubai. It's an attraction point. Everybody is coming from different parts of the world. Okay. But it makes our life more difficult. Building a small house is easier, takes less time, less money, less effort, and so on and so forth. If you have to make it environmental friendly, easier. If I have to use the software to design this building, easier. But if I am doing something like Burj Khalifa, it takes years just for the design process. Okay? So urbanization is attracting people towards a place. And because of that, the nature of projects is becoming bigger, larger. Okay, the scope of work is becoming larger and larger and larger. So you are no longer dealing with hundreds of people, you are dealing with thousands of people or millions of people at a time. Okay, and they are increasing. It's not like, okay, 1 million people now and I'm done for the next 20 years. No, this 1 million will become 3 million after 10 years. Okay, so the problem keeps on increasing. So your projects, your infrastructure, okay, and again you have to keep in mind the sustainability aspect, the environmental aspect. More people, less place, then you have more environmental issues. Okay, more noise, more climate change, and so on and so forth. Okay, so these are some of the challenges as I mentioned. There could be others as well, but we are just discussing these 5. Okay, now I'll move on to some of the topics. I will not explain all of them. Anybody has to present anything? I'm asking again. Some of you did not present for the first assignment. If they want to do it, they can do it now. Anybody wants to do the bonus presentation? Okay. So some of the topics, I will explain some of the topics. There are others as well. Some of them we will discuss next time. Okay. So one of them is energy efficient buildings. I already mentioned it. This is one of the challenges. We have to make the projects energy efficient to have less environmental impact, okay, and to make them more sustainable. Okay. Whenever you build a building, it needs energy to operate. Okay? It needs energy to operate for cooling, for heating, for lighting. Okay? It needs energy, right? So there's a total amount of energy which is required. Now what can you, from where can you fulfill the demand of energy for a building or for any project or any structure? You can use the energy which is provided from the grid, like EVA. Okay, they are providing this energy. Okay, and then they have their own system as well. But when energy comes from outside, the efficiency is less. Okay, when energy is transferred from one place to the other place, there are some losses in the way. Okay, so maybe the energy which you are using is 1000 megawatt, but the energy which they are sending is more than 1000. Some of it is lost on the way. Okay, electrical engineer will give you a better idea. But there are some system losses if the energy is coming from outside, from the grid. Okay, they call it grid losses as well. You may take some energy from the internal heat gains. Okay, right now, do you feel cold? You feel cold, right? So if somebody asks you, okay, go in the kitchen and make coffee for yourself. The kitchen is hot. You will make coffee, you will start the burner, you will feel good, right? Okay. So in the kitchen you don't need heating because already hot. Why it is hot? Because it's a kitchen. So this is internal heat gain, meaning some process which is happening inside the building and that is generating energy which you can use. Okay, like the burner in the kitchen. Okay, so it happens in the factories as well, obviously. So this can be used. So the heat requirement in the kitchen is less because the kitchen itself is producing the heat. Okay, and there can be other examples as well. You can use natural energy as well. Natural energy, give me an example. Huh? Wind, water, and what else? Something which we have a lot? Solar. Okay. So the total energy of the building can be fulfilled using three types of sources. The one which is coming from the grid, the one which is generated from the building operation itself, and the one which you can take naturally. Okay. So energy efficient buildings will rely on more what? Which of them more? An energy efficient building should have more portion from where? This or that? Tell me. This one? It should have more portion from here. Energy efficient means what? It should take more energy from the grid? More energy from EVA? No, right? So an energy efficient building should make use of that one more, the natural energy, because it's recyclable, it's already available, you are not getting it from anywhere. Even if there are losses, you don't mind, right? Okay, this one has losses, you don't want it. Okay, and this one can serve the others. If you don't use it, somebody else will use it. Okay, so it makes it, the whole community is happy. The internal heat, obviously, it's out of your control. Huh? You will not keep the, my kids do it, my daughters do it. It's very hot, so they will open the fridge door. Internal cooling. Okay, now they are big enough, I cannot put them inside. Okay, but you see the problem. Okay, it's cold. and I have a fridge, but doesn't mean I will open the door of the fridge, right? Okay, so this is limited, but if you can increase the natural energy gain, it's good for everybody. Okay, there are virtually no losses here. Okay, earlier, okay, when they used to live in caves, so a long time ago, my childhood, right? So in that time, they were just making the use of existing resources. There's a cave which can protect us from heat and wind and rain. Okay, we'll go inside the cave. Okay, fine. Then they said, no, you can have more efficiency if you consume the resources. Why should I go under the tree? Why should I cut the tree and build something for me? Get the idea? I want to have shade. I can go under the tree. The tree will remain there, right? But then they thought, no, why? Why should I go under the tree? I can cut the tree and take it with me. Okay, so this is where the problem started. We started consuming the resources instead of using it. Why we are looking for energy efficient buildings? The building sector consumes around 42% of the energy all over the world. 42%, which is almost half. Okay, so if you can reduce energy consumption by buildings, then you are making a big change in the overall global scenario. Okay, 90% of the time we spend is in a building. We are in a building, right? Right now we are in a building. Your house is a building. Okay, you graduate, you go to your office will be in a building. Not really. If you go on a site, you will know what I mean. Okay, but for normal people, 90% of the time is in one or the other building. Okay, so they are important for us and they are consuming a lot of energy. Urbanization, I already explained, right? What is urbanization? Yeah, shifting of people from smaller areas to cities, and that means the proportion of people living in a small area is increasing. Okay, and this has happened in Europe. Okay, this has happened in I know in most of the Asian countries it has already happened. India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. Okay, so it has already happened there as well. So that means you see the growth in the European countries. This is the data which I got published. 80% growth in population because of urbanization. 80% growth. So if it was 1 million, now it is 1.8 million. 800,000 people more because of urbanization, not the natural growth. Okay. So it is expected by 2030, 60% of the people will be living in the urban areas. You can see the trends over here for different countries, different parts of Europe. Okay, what is the energy efficiency of a building? Reducing the consumption per unit area of the building. This is called as energy efficiency, because the size of the building will increase its energy requirement, right? Bigger building needs more energy, okay, for lighting and cooling and so on. So energy efficiency is you try to reduce per unit, per square meter energy consumption of the building, okay, under a specific climate conditions. Okay, under specific climate conditions, and to judge if the building is energy efficient or not, they have given us some benchmarks. There are some benchmarks available locally as well as globally. So whenever you are designing a building, you can actually see if it is really energy efficient or not. You are claiming it is energy efficient, but what about the international standards? Okay, so these things are already there. Okay, the second topic is green construction. Okay, so green construction means you prepare a building and paint it green. Okay, she believed me. No? No? Okay. Okay, so green construction is a process in which you design the building and construct the building in a sustainable manner. Okay, and sustainability means what? Minimizing what? When you say sustainability, minimize what? The word sustainability means minimizing environmental impacts. Okay, energy is one of the environmental impacts. Noise pollution is another environmental impact. Air pollution is another environmental impact. Okay, effect on cutting the trees, another environmental impact. Okay, so minimizing the impact. Okay, so you try to optimize the use of water, raw materials, energy of used for the building for its entire life cycle. So life cycle is not only construction. After construction, the building will operate for 20 years. So this is the entire life cycle. The entire 20 years is its entire life cycle. Okay. So maybe you are using very good materials for construction, but those materials will require maintenance after every 6 months. Not good. You are doing something in construction, but that will cost you in the later period. Okay. So green construction means you look at the entire life cycle of the building and try to design it so that these things are minimized. Okay, how can we do it? Again, not our area. If you go to the architecture department, you will see they deal with this. How can the architecture of the building be improved to reduce the energy requirements? Okay, and so on and so forth. Use of recyclable material, sustainable material. Okay, the plastic bottles, now they have recycle bins everywhere, I think. Okay, so some of these things which you put in the recycle bin can be used for even construction as well. They have used plastic bags in the construction of roads. Okay, and you know they when we purchase any electronic device or something, they give you like a cushion. In the box you will see these white layer with a cushion. Okay, it's in my bag as well. Anyways, your laptop bags have this. Okay, so there was a project which we did in Pakistan where we used those cushion in the concrete blocks. Okay, so using recycled material, mostly plastic. Prefabrication and smarter building processes, we have this in Bahrain. Most of the buildings are prefabricated, meaning they will cast the beam somewhere and they will come and put it here. Okay, same thing with the slabs. Okay, even the residential buildings are being constructed like this. Okay, so prefabricated means you cast it somewhere else and just come to the site and put it there. Okay, like building a Lego house. Okay, so this will reduce the noise pollution and air pollution on the site. Okay, everything is happening in a factory. Alternative energy sources, so solar panels, wind turbines, and so on and so forth. This is part of it. You have to design it. Alternative energy sources, you have to design it. It's not like, okay, my building will have a solar panel. Where? How? Okay, still design is required. Energy efficient appliances, the lighting systems, for example. Okay, 10 years ago we used to have these tube lights. I don't know if you have seen it or not. Okay, but now these, they give more brightness. Okay, and they consume less energy. Okay, if you look at the ACs which you have, the fridge which you have in your house, if you look at the leaflet or the place where they put the certificate, you will see the energy efficiency there mentioned. So using those things. Okay, what will be the benefits? According to a study done by CMAX, it's an organization which works in green construction. The following benefits have been observed. Whenever they used green construction, they have observed the following benefits. Return on investment increased by 19%. What is return on investment? It's basically the ratio of profit upon revenue. Return on investment is profit upon revenue. Okay, so with green construction, the profit increases by 19%. How? What will increase the profit for the owner? using green construction? Unique project, yeah. Some people may buy it, or some people may come to live there just because, okay, it has a solar panel, it has a wind turbine, okay, the lights are looking very good, and so on and so forth. Yes, yes. So the owner can get more price out of it. Anything else? Something I already mentioned actually. Anything else? Your profit is what you are getting out of the building, right? And your investment is what you are spending, right? So you are spending things on construction. If you improve the construction process, you will consume less money, right? You will consume less money. If you are using energy efficient devices, again, then you need less energy, right? So you will pay less on the bills. If you are using smart materials, then your cost for material will reduce. If you are using recycled material, they are cheaper, right? People are already throwing them out. Okay, so using green construction you can get more profit, and you have to pay less. Basically, your cost is reducing. Okay, that's why. Okay, and the occupancy by rating increases by 3%. Why? Because she already mentioned one of the reasons. People may wonder what type of building it is, and it is state of the art. Okay, like the Burj Khalifa, people can ask for 1000 BD per day, no problem, because it's Burj Khalifa, right? You don't go there for, anybody will not go there. Okay, so they can ask more. Okay, and secondly, the thing which I already mentioned, it is more energy efficient. So people who are living there, they are living in better conditions than others. Okay, it's a better project than others to live in. Okay, you have a sustainable energy, and you are paying less, and so on. Same thing here, savings in operating costs, which is already mentioned. Yeah. There are organizations in the world. One of them is called LEEDS, LEEDS, LEEDS. They give you certificate on the basis of using green construction. If you are using green construction technologies, they can certify your company, or they can certify your project, and you can show this as an achievement that we achieved green construction certificate. Bahrain International Airport, the new one. Okay, it has this certification. So it's like a global achievement. Okay, it's an achievement at the global level that we have an airport which is certified by green construction, or for green construction. Okay, and we are the leaders, and so on and so forth. Okay, the last thing which I will discuss for today, then the rest we will see in the next class, is the role of virtual reality in the civil engineering design problems. Okay, what is virtual reality? Is a computer generated environment. Virtual reality is a computer generated environment which you normally see in games. In gaming, you have a computer generated environment where you are playing, right? It's not real. Some of you feel it's real, but it's not. Okay, in virtual reality, then you can have the higher experience, right? You are not only looking at it, you are actually going inside it. Okay, they will give you the glasses and so on. You can go inside the game. Okay, so you can actually walk there. Okay, so that is virtual reality. So it is replicating the actual world, and it is giving you the try to give you the real experience. Okay, yeah. So what you can do, for example, I'm moving in this room, right? Okay, I come here, I don't like these chairs. Now I change them. Okay, but somebody put it there, right? Somebody put these chairs over there, over here. Okay, I can only change them when somebody puts them here, right? Somebody already made a mistake. They took chairs from other rooms and put it here. It's a mistake. It's a mess. When somebody else comes and he sees, and they will say, no, now shift them. It's not looking good. You have wasted your time. You have wasted your sources. Okay. If I have a virtual picture of or a virtual environment for this room, so I can make all the changes I want in the virtual environment without costing anything. Nobody will actually take the chairs. I'll just check if I put a blue chair here, how will it feel like? How will it look like? Okay. If I increase the dimension of this column, what will happen to the room? How will it look like? Huh? So all these things can be tested virtually. So no cost, no time. Okay. No money involved. Okay. No person involved. Nobody is doing it. It's just a person who is sitting on the laptop or a computer and they are changing the design and they are looking at what will happen if I do this design. Okay, so I can take all these chairs and tables out of the room in virtual reality and see what I can do. Okay, how can I move around, how many people I can fit. Okay, can I use this room for a lab, for example, for a civil engineering lab, not a computer lab. Okay, so all these things can be tested in virtual reality without any cost, without any people involved, without any people being involved. Okay, so yeah, it can help you with learning as well. In some countries, I'm not sure if they are using it in the driving schools, but in some countries they have driving simulators. They use it for research for sure. Some universities have driving simulators. So you go there. Okay, they will let you sit in the car. The car is not moving, it's virtual reality. So you put the goggles on and now you are driving virtually. Okay, so you can learn how to drive virtually. So a car will come in front of you, they will see will you push the brakes or not. Okay, so they can teach everything to you in virtual reality. So that means what? No harm, right? Okay, you were too slow in pushing the brake, you had the accident, but it's a virtual accident, no problem. Same thing for the construction sites. I'm a new worker, they are teaching me how to use the excavator. It's a big equipment, right? Excavator is a big vehicle. If I do something wrong, I'm gone, right? Okay, an accident with a truck, it's a definite kill, right? So instead of having a new person directly driving the truck on the road, you can use virtual reality for teaching him or her. Okay, so it's an open-ended utilization. You can use it for many things. Okay, how does it help in the civil engineering world? Okay, yeah, so 2 examples given here. They used virtual reality in Lisbon, I think. Where is it? Lisbon, Europe somewhere, right? Lisbon in Europe somewhere. I forgot the name of the country, but it's a city in Europe. They have used this virtual reality. So they put the design of the building in virtual reality. People walk in there, engineers, consultants, and they can see if there's any problem with the design or not. Okay, in virtual reality. So without even starting the construction, I already know the problems. Okay. A civil engineering professor in Texas used VR learning to teach the students to be safe, how to be safe in the lab, how to drive safely and so on. Okay, so both examples you can see are mentioned here. Clear? Okay, if you go to the Blackboard, you will see a more complete list